5 o'clock, so we're going to open the Rules and Legislative Committee. Everyone's present except Commissioner Epperson. So we got that. This is time for prayer. Let us. Good. Come on in, Commissioner Epperson.
You didn't have a babysitter.
But it's always good to have help.
Yeah.
I'll let you get seated.
Well, I had to run from work and then daycare closed and they didn't know it early, so. Okay.
Let us pray. Our Father, who art the hope of all the earth, remember us in love and guide us by thine wisdom. We want to lift up Commissioner John Brown again for your continued love and care. We ask you to grant blessings upon thy servants, the President, Congress, the Governor, and our state legislature, county mayor, commissioners, city mayor, and councilmen. Bless us with the spirit of wisdom, goodness, and truth. May law and order, justice and peace prevail, defend our liberties, preserve our unity, in honor of thy holy name. Amen. Okay, the first item is approval of minutes from the August 17th, 2021 Rules and Legislative Committee.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. The second item is consideration of placing the September 14th, 2021 Commission minutes on the October 12th, 2021 County Commission agenda.
Make a motion, we place those on the agenda without a recommendation.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. The third item is consideration of placing the notary applicants on the October 12th, 2021 County Commission agenda as requested by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, the veterans report was enclosed. Looked like we had a busy August. There were 37 that were transported to the VA hospitals, and there were 60 veteran visits that came by the office. And I think, Mike, they requested some information. I think one of the commissioners did, and I think you said you had it, so
Yes, Commissioner, I did.
bring us up to speed on it if you don't
Okay,
mind.
what I did was I gave you numbers for the counties, that I had numbers for each of the counties. What I did was I took the top 4 counties, Davidson, Knox, Montgomery, and Shelby counties. Those are the ones that have the most veterans in there. For instance, Davidson County has 8,349 veterans that they are servicing that receiving, but their total population of veterans is over 35,000, which means that we're talking less than 1/4 of the number of veterans are receiving benefits from that county. For Knox County, it was 7,000, and with a total population of 30,000 veterans in that county, and they're bringing in $28 million into that county. The veterans are through their benefits. Montgomery County is the largest because of Fort Campbell. They have a population of 15,000 that are receiving benefits and 31,000, so almost half of the population of that county of veterans are receiving benefits for a total of $60 million into that county. And Shelby County, which is the second largest because of the naval base there, they have a population of 55,000 and 12,000 are receiving benefits for a total of $48 million coming into theirs annually. In Bedford County, we have 2,936 veterans expected to increase throughout the next 3 years. We have a total of 624 veterans that are receiving benefits for a total of $3.5 million coming into the county. So We're still working on it. As you can see, the report was quite significantly increased because we have 2 veteran service officers doing the job now instead of 1. And the 4 reasons that I brought up that they're not coming into the office is, 1 is they're not aware. I've been on the radio, done an interview with the newspaper. Some of them don't want to, some of them don't care. And then others are unable to receive the benefits because of either their type of discharge that they had or the income that they make. All right, that's all I have, Commissioner.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Rhodes? Okay, now we'll go to the next item, and it's the community clinic report. That's for our own information. They served 95 patients, or what's that, last month, and I think there were 27 that were treated and cared for by the Area Dental Clinic. So again, that's quite a few people that they're caring for from month to month. 95 in the community clinic and 27 in the dental clinic. So that's just for our own information, but they're certainly an asset to our community. Okay, I don't know if there's any old business to come. Okay.
Your permission. We have our redistricting committee. Our first meeting is, I think, the 28th, isn't it, Commissioner Yaki?
Have many dates.
Commissioner Yaki, myself, Tony Smith are on that committee. We have published it. The mayor and Anna had that published, so it's an open meeting. We will have
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock in the Duck River Room. One of the things we were going to discuss, and I wanted to bring this up, the chairman and I were talking about that, is there is a resolution that we can pass if the redistricting committee wants to, that excludes the inmates from being counted in the population as we redistrict. It does not take away their franchise rights. It only eliminates that number for that particular district, which would be Mr. Castleman's district in District 8. And depending on how many inmates are in there, if you think about it, it makes sense. Let's say they were counted in the census in May, and then they're in jail in June. Well, they're getting counted twice unless you remove them out there, since they are Bedford County residents. So we can take that number out. We're going to discuss that at the redistricting committee meeting, and if the committee decides to do that, Mr. Chairman, we'll bring it back here to rules where we can have a thorough discussion on that. But I'm giving everybody a little heads up on that. And CTAS will come down at this meeting. We will elect officers. We will appoint a secretary in there who will have the records, and then CTAS will help us as we draw through these lines. But like Commissioner Young and I have discovered, the population numbers are crushing in towards Shelbyville. So it's gonna be an interesting work that we have to put together to make sure everyone's properly represented from the statutory requirement, but also through the legal requirements in there. And so it's balancing. So, Mr. Chairman, just want to bring that to everyone's attention. Thank you.
And to follow up on that, everybody here on the Rose Committee certainly needs to read that pamphlet that we got about redistricting, because it will be referred from them to us. We will be the ones that will place it on the agenda. The Rose legislature did 10 years ago, and they'll do it this time as well. So I'm just telling everyone on this, it's a member of the Rose, needs to study and pay attention to this. It needs to go to that meeting if you can. I know you work at 2 o'clock, because it has to come back here and be discussed, debated, and we need to be on time to try to get it to where Summer Leverett and the Election Commission can get that. I don't know if they have to get it verified by December or not, but I think the last time, I believe it was, I believe Commissioner Yaki, you were on the committee as well, I think 10 years ago, and I think Chairman County Mayor, he might still be county executive, Ray appointed all of the chairpersons of the standing committees. I think it was you, myself, was Bo Wilson chairperson of the Rose? He wasn't, but it seemed like he might have showed up at a meeting or two. And John Brown, was he? He was the other one. I was thinking it was was there, plus some elaborate. I don't believe there was but five on the committee, the three standing chair people, because of their experience and their knowledge of the county, and as well as the other. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about redistricting that I don't understand.
They're
It
living
could be
in
viewed that way, but we'll get to that point when we get there, and hopefully it won't be an issue.
Ask me that, so I didn't know the
Uh-huh,
answer to it.
well, I don't know that we have any answers yet, and if it does happen, then we'll cross that bridge when we reach it.
Yeah.
But I can't answer, I doubt anybody else up here can either.
The final vote goes back to the county commission.
Okay,
I mean, it comes to this committee, but it's
yes,
the final.
oh,
vote is at
absolutely.
the County commission.
Yes.
Does it have to be approved by the state, or does we make?
I think she does that December, doesn't she? I don't know what the election, she has to have something certified or verified in December. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or
Right,
not.
well, yeah,
No, it has to be certified by the election board.
by the election board.
But the whole redistricting, there's a state senate and state house and US
Yes,
house and all this.
okay.
That has to be approved by the General Assembly. And they
Okay.
have their own redistricting committees in
Okay.
place. They have to approve that, but they don't come in until the third Tuesday of January. And they have to know where their districts are for their sake, because they have to qualify at that point.
What was the difference in the census from, I never did hear the number,
11% increase.
11%?
And like I
And so
said,
like 90, I don't wanna say 90%, but a hunk of it
I
was
knew
the
it was gonna
ninth
be a
district.
lot.
it's all crushing this
In that
way.
ninth and eighth district, the south side and.
I guess you got all those stats.
We got it.
As soon as we can, they'll need, all the commissioners need to have them. And all of them need to be studying and researching.
I've got it.
I thought I read 50,283
Correct.
45, so.
from 45, yeah, something like that, if it's.
And the ideal district is what, 50, what do you say, 5,500, 5,200? We gotta get the ideal.
Okay.
5,800
Yep.
district.
Yep.
Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
I think my district was the closest to ideal as there was from what I had understood.
you know, yours was a little bit over, but.
62
mine's a
people
little bit
over.
under, but, you know, but Mr. Chairman, I mean, the state will come in and help us, but they don't tell us what to do.
Absolutely,
It is
yes.
absolutely up to
It's
us.
advisory,
And
CTAS is.
I just wanted to restate what you
Yeah,
said.
just because they recommend something doesn't mean we have to accept it.
That's correct.
We set a precedence, in my heart, we set a precedence with Mr. Patterson.
Absolutely, and mine as well, Commissioner Yagi. I'm on the same page. Okay, any other questions about redistricting? But since we've already mentioned that, I was gonna mention we had the CCA meeting, the regional meeting in Chapel Hill. I think five commissioners were able to make the meeting, but it's very important Charlie Curtis goes over some of the issues. I want to make sure we all, the rest of the commissioners here understand. I think one of the first thing, and I know the county mayor is aware, they have a loan program, TCS, a loan program, and I'm sure Robert Daniel knows it as well. As we just mentioned, CTAS does provide a lot of technical support, and they do with this redistricting. And that information is valuable. They have very good people, they need to be listened to. But, and that's good that they're coming down and helping us. He also recommended, reference the fall conference. Many of you are new commissioners, and so if you need the hours, you might want to get them at the fall conference. He said their hotels were booked up, but there were other hotels everywhere, and I didn't even catch where it is this year. But there were three main issues they talked about, and we've addressed them here. One of them was the broadband coverage, and we've been pretty spot on with trying to help those people in this county that didn't have the coverage. He also said that a lot of counties are dealing with water and sewer and infrastructure problems with growth and all. He says it's overwhelming many counties here in the mid-state. And then the third big thing was tourism, which if you don't think tourism is important, he said it is. It's very important. One of the last things he went on, and we've got this resolution to support that, was the opioid manufacturing damage that was done, throughout the state and the United States as well. And then he mentioned, I think that comes under the American Rescue Plan, and we're gonna see where we're gonna pass this resolution in a minute. We're gonna place it on the county agenda. And then he always said our biggest exposure, again, is jail and jail populations. We all know that. There's liability there and always will be. And the last thing he commented on was cybersecurity and talked about all the fee offices and everybody else, making sure, that we have security there. So we need to keep that updated. So I just wanted to mention the TCCA regional meeting. It's very informative. Of course, it's pretty much the same thing every year. Okay, any questions concerning that regional meeting? I think 5 of us attended. Okay, then we'll go on. In fact, that's what the next one is. Under new business is resolution of support of the Drug Dealer Liability Act lawsuit. That was in our packet, and as it said, and I'll just read one paragraph. I don't read the whole resolution so you get a gist of it. That whereas Attorney General Robert Carter brought a lawsuit in 2018 to recover money for the Bedford County under the Tennessee's Drug Dealer Liability Act, and that lawsuit is pending in Cumberland County Circuit Court. But we need to pass this resolution so that we can try to get some of the monies that were dispersed to the counties for this opioid.
I'll make a motion to place it on the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next one is with, of course, Commissioner Brent Smith resigned at the end of August, and we've got this vacancy open. That's the next item, District 1 Commissioner vacancy open. We do know who Commissioner Smith recommended, Eric Maddox. Eric's here, and I don't know, since he mentioned it, and you were his choice. Do you want to say anything, Eric? You want to introduce yourself? You got any comments?
I'd like to address the group, if I may.
Yes, you certainly can.
You may want to come up to the front, we'll get you on the camera. Careful. Be very careful. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the commission. My name is Eric Maddox of Bell Buckle, Tennessee, District 1. I wanted to take a brief moment and address this afternoon why I'm here and maybe a high-level context, a little bit about my background. I'm happily married to my bride of almost 27 years. We live on a farm on Coop Road, Judge Eblin's old place. I don't know if any of you know where that is, but that's where we've called home for the last 6.5 years. I'm originally from Hazel Green, Alabama, just over the state line, and I made my way to Nashville to go to school, and my wife and I lived there up until the time that we moved to Bedford County. I'm probably what some may call a self-made individual from the aspect of I grew up financially very poor, extremely poor, sometimes without water, electricity, and food at times. But that gave me the drive to get to where I am today. I am happy to say that my wife and I have made a successful life through God's mercy and grace. That's why I'm here today, and I'm thankful for it. I am a conservative Christian, and those values are ones that I uphold daily. I will add that through the tough childhood, I did want to take, and I do take the opportunity to help others. Most recently, I helped coach our Little League baseball team, the Shelbyville Crushers, to the championship. We won the state championship. Go team, right? Very excited. My boys and I, we enjoy music. Mr. Gallagher, we love bluegrass, gospel music. I'm involved in that. I'm also involved in church. We also homeschool. All of my boys, again, play sports. My middle son is actually playing for community school. Last year he played for Liberty. A lot of familiar faces I look around here. To put us at this exact moment in time, it's my understanding that former Commissioner Brent Smith nominated me as a potential replacement for his seat. He and I were neighbors before he moved, and I believe that he knew that I was a community-minded individual with high integrity and thus the reason for being nominated. I have shared with him a great deal about my commitments to the city, my church, baseball in the past, and I'm sure that is probably where the nomination stemmed from. I'll honestly also say I'm not sure how this process works. I've had the opportunity to meet with several of you last week. I had the opportunity to shake your hand and say hello, but that's the extent of it. Mr. Mayor, I've had the opportunity to simply do the same with you. I would love to have the opportunity to meet with each of you. Mr. Mayor, same. I'd love to have the opportunity to meet with you at some point. I'll lastly add that I understand that as of today, Mr. Bobby Fox is possibly formally and officially going to be nominated for this position in open commission seat. So with that said, I do want to thank you for your time this afternoon. This is, in fact, one of the best counties in the state, and that's why I live here. My wife and I knew quickly that we needed to leave where we were and get back to a rural setting. That's where I grew up, and that's where I knew I wanted to raise my family. That's why we're here, and it's a privilege and an honor, and I say that very seriously, to call Bedford County my home. And no matter what happens, that's the case. Lastly, I'll just simply say I hope that God continues to bless our great citizens, our servants, our leaders, and I hope that we move forward with a purpose and with a positive resolve. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Maddox. I also have a letter, and Bobby Fox did call me. He's developed a cough, and he's somewhat a little bit under the weather. He didn't want to come, feeling somewhat sick to the meeting, but he was nominated by Commissioner Don Gallagher, so he'll be considered as well at the next meeting. County Mayor, you need to tell this lady that's applied, she needs to get a sponsor. I think she just, the forwarded message I say is just to you, and she's interested in it, but I would say that she needs a commissioner to sponsor her.
I did encourage her to contact Commissioner Gallagher and any of the other commissioners that she'd like.
The attorney from Belleville.
I don't know.
Yes, it is. I spoke with her today.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we gave her that information. I thought she was gonna be here tonight, to be honest with you, but as people call in, just like we've done with all the others, we simply push that information to you guys and tell them to reach out to their commissioners.
Because I encouraged her to be here tonight.
What's her full name?
Kristen B. Brown.
She would have to have a sponsor, commissioner sponsor.
Hey, yeah, if she get a sponsor,
Can we do that now? Is there something you can do here? Is there something we have to do?
I'd say so. If you got a,
You want to recommend?
I'll recommend her. I'll do the recommendation for her.
as soon as it's in an open meeting, it has to have a second. You won't second it, you still got to vote on it. There's a second, okay.
Did you second his, Don's and Brent's, or what are we doing there?
Well, because she wasn't nominated, I would say the other ones are okay.
We're nominated.
Yes, they're gonna be
Really
on the
don't even have
list.
to have a second. It's just
Probably not, it's just because others didn't. So, but anyhow, she does, so we're just trying to get her on the slate. And the other two are on the slate already, I think so, because commissioners have sponsored, we got two here that,
And the
that
night
gives her a right to be on
night
the
of the
slate.
commission meeting, you could still have a nomination.
Yes, absolutely, if you got, yeah, that has to have a vote second, I believe there, though, doesn't it? You don't think so? I don't know,
I mean,
Now, you're gonna go through the process of, if you got multiple names on the, just like we did
Yes.
the very first one, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, to explain to you how that'll work, you will need to come to the next commission meeting also, because we'll, and be ready to speak then if need be, and then
I'm assuming we will elect them that night, won't
we will elect them that night, yes. But everybody will vote.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
and I think just a word. So I do want to formally nominate Mr. Bobby Fox, and as I indicated in the letter, there's two basic reasons. One is because of his long service as the representative for the first district, that background. And we're at the tail end of this term of office, so he can come in and fill that position without hardly missing a lick. Whereas there would be a pretty good learning curve for anybody else and too short of time to really get on top of the situation. He has that experience. He's represented the first district well in the past. The other thing is he does not plan to run in the 2022 election, which was a very big plus for me nominating him, because I've had at least 3 other people express interest in this seat. For me, it's difficult to show favoritism or partiality to any one of those people. They're all good people. They would all do a good job, I think. But if Bobby's not going to run, if he will fill the seat until the end of this term, that puts those who are interested in it all on the same page. Yes, they have a level playing field there. And that way, the people of the first district have that opportunity to elect who they feel will serve them the best. Bobby called me this evening. He was coughing, not feeling well, and he apologized for not being here, but hopefully he'll be here at the commission meeting. Thank you.
Chairman, if I could,
Yes.
Robert Dye also sent email just like this young lady.
Okay.
Did, and I somehow didn't get it in the packet. I know he reached, or he told me he was gonna reach out to you as well.
He did.
Again, as you said, there's been
And I gave
several
him
that.
the same.
Right, and what I tell them when they contact our office is to send us something in writing, we'll make sure you contact them,
Okay.
through the district from there. So I don't know if you wanna add Robert Dye's name, or if you're just gonna wait to the floor and do this, or what.
The bylaws state this, the chairperson is to receive nominations from the floor. This is the night of the commission meeting. A member may nominate only one other person. The floor will be kept open until every member has had an opportunity to nominate that person before the nominations are closed. And I think back to when we opened this up for discussion, that rather than having it all done that night at the commission, if those that were interested would come to this body and give their life story and the whys and what fors, that's what we were about. But the night of the commission meeting, in my mind, Mr. Chairman, they need to be nominated that night by a person. And while we're doing it here, that's fine too, that's no big deal, but the bylaw says from the floor, so that night. Doesn't say that night, but that's what it's talking about. So just food for thought.
That's okay, and I think we can take nominations here as well, but whatever you want to do, fine. What's the wishes, anybody with Robert Dye, just wait till that night? That's whatever, it's 5 years to make the decision.
We're still gonna have to do it that night anyway.
You
so-
still do it that night.
We gotta do it that night anyway, Mr. Chairman.
Well, he'll have to have somebody nominated, though.
Yep.
Right, yeah, he needs to contact somebody.
Yes.
I think, Mr. Chairman, we thank everybody who's been here
Yes.
tonight. Excellent. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for interest, because we really need people interested. But the process is, next month, somebody has to nominate it. Somebody has to have 10 votes. And I think the procedure you had was, if you don't have 10 votes, the low person goes out and you go to the next one. That's right. Well, I think we just wait. Just wait till.
Mr. Chairman, do y'all normally approve the reports? I didn't catch if you, somebody wanted to approve them.
We don't the community, clinic report, we do the veteran report. And I expect we may not approve it.
Okay,
Well,
can we catch it?
yeah, we will.
Sure.
Okay, we didn't, approve the veterans report.
I move we approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any question or other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sorry. Okay, I don't know if there's any other business or not. I know, we had a lot of discussion at the other meeting on the, North, Business Park Oversight Committee, and then the proposed interlocal, agreement. I guess all that's been ironed out, County Mayor.
I assume you passed it.
Okay, we're good. Everything's fine there. Great. Is there anything else? Any other announcements? Anything else, other business come before the committee? I've been, entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, so, all right, thank you.